Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is September 8th, and we have a program for you based on the natural world of reptiles, one in particular.
Is there an artificial world of reptiles, is my question suddenly.
What do you call it, the dinosaur films?
Jurassic Park.
There you go. And those are lizards.
Those are lizards. Those are lizards.
Yeah, huge ones.
Yeah.
This one that we'll be talking about today is not huge. It's kind of cute. The title of our lesson is Lizards That Can Walk on Water.
And I love everything about that.
好，我们的中文标题也很有趣，耶稣蜥蜴的轻功水上漂。
Okay, I'll read through the whole article. Basilisk lizards are found throughout tropical areas of Central and South America. Most of the 4 known species display green or brown coloration, while some also exhibit vibrant blue or red splashes. These lizards can grow to be 70 centimeters in length as adults, but their long, thin tails account for about 2/3 of their total size. While basilisks have many interesting traits, they are best known for being able to walk on water. Actually, it's more like running. Nevertheless, basilisks have no problems at all moving across the surface of a lake or stream on their rear legs, a feat that is nearly impossible for most animals. Therefore, it's not surprising that they are also known as Jesus lizards, which recalls the biblical story of Jesus walking on water. The ability of basilisks to run across water stems from their unique hind feet and the shape of their bodies. As the lizard strides forward, little bubbles of air are formed when the basilisk's feet contact the surface of the water. This generates enough force to push the lizard's entire body forward and slightly to the opposite side. Subsequently, the webbed feet begin to stroke the water surface, which creates a gliding effect on the top of the water. In addition to their ability to run on water, basilisks possess several other interesting features. They can stay underwater for nearly 10 minutes, showcasing their excellent swimming abilities. Also, basilisks can rapidly change the color of their skin, allowing them to adapt and blend into their surroundings as a form of camouflage. All of these amazing traits make basilisk lizards unique and fascinating creatures.
You know, I love the name of these lizards because a basilisk in historical European mythology,
Greek.
Also Greek,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is a monster that can kill you with a glance. So why are these cute water-walking lizards called basilisk lizards? What did they do to merit that name?
好，所以呢，这个地方呢，我们讲到这种蜥蜴，它的名字蛮有趣的，因为 basilisk 是一个神话的里面的一个，它是一种怪物哈，可以用它的眼神就把你杀了，看你一眼就死了。但是呢，这个地方这种蜥蜴居然用这个名字来当做它的名称，所以我们就很好奇，它不知道为什么会让人家想到这个。不过我们中文啊 basilisk lizards 我们叫做双脊冠蜥，这个脊是那个脊椎的脊，冠是那个帽子的那个冠，这种蜥蜴。那它们呢 are found 可以被看到，是 throughout 在整个这些地方都可以看到，在哪里呢？在 tropical areas 就是热带地区，哪里的热带地区呢？中南美洲的热带地区。
So let's start our article. Basilisk lizards, these dudes, are found throughout tropical areas of Central and South America. So it's in the center and the south of the Americas, and it's in the tropical areas of such. So it's not in the subtropical like Taiwan or China. It's tropical.
Most of the 4 known species display green or brown coloration, while some also exhibit vibrant blue or red splashes. So if you're looking at this kind of lizard, you can probably expect that they will be mostly green or brown or these 2 colors together. But some also are famous because we don't often see blue skin in the natural world, but the basilisk can change its color in order to blend in with its environment, and that includes being able to make its skin appear blue or even red. Now, splashes here in this case is not related to water. It just means parts of the skin look as though maybe someone threw the color red on them.
Splashes also is like an area of color of undefined limits.
Right. And no particular shape. Just here's some red, there's some blue, and the rest is green or brown.
OK， 好，所以我们看到这个句子呢，他说 The four known species 就是这个双脊冠蜥呢，它有四个品种，大多数这些4个品种中，大多数都 display 就是显示。那其实因为它后面接的是颜色，所以我们可以说它们有这个颜色，带有这个颜色。那有什么颜色呢？是绿色，或者是 brown， 或者是棕色。那 coloration 它跟 color 有什么不一样呢？ coloration 通常是指动物或植物的颜色或者色彩，甚至于可能是花纹。所以它是 the natural coloring of animals 或者是 plants 植物也可以。所以 coloration 它跟单纯的颜色差别在这个地方，它是一种 appearance 外表 of something， 那 with regard to color 在颜色方面它的外表是怎么样，所以这个字大概是这样的一个重点。然后呢，所以有一些是绿色或棕色 while some 就是也有一些呢它也 exhibit这个字呢，在这个句子里面跟 display 是差不多的意思啊，它就换一个字来讲而已。好，所以有的是带有绿色，还有棕色。那有的呢，它带有什么颜色呢？它有 vibrant 是鲜艳的啊，它用来指颜色是很鲜艳的。它有很鲜艳的蓝色或者是红色的 splashes 这个字呢，可以翻成斑点啊，这好像用水洒上去的，那颜色一块一块的用水洒上去的。它也可以指 a bright patch of color， 就是一段的很亮的颜色，那就是 splashes。所以这个地方其实主要就是讲它们的颜色。
So these lizards can grow to be 70 centimeters in length. So that's about the width of a normal hallway in like a home, right? So these are not it's not like these are large lizards, but they're not small either. They're like dog-sized. So that's when they get to be adults, okay? But their long, thin tails account for about 2/3 of their total size. So wow, if their tails are if their bodies are only 1/3 of this total length, then I take it back about dog size. They're cat size with they're like extra long-tailed cat size.
Yep. 所以呢，他们跟这个猫或者是小狗的这个长度差不多。他说这些蜥蜴呢，它们可以 grow to be， 它们可以长到什么样的状况呢？长到有70公分，是指它的长度 in length， 就是指长度70公分。那 as adults 就是它们成蜥，它们长大之后呢，它们可以长到70公分。但是呢，它们的这个很长的 thin 用来指 tails 就是指细的，所以它们很长很细的那个尾巴呢 account for 这个片语，它如果用来表示比例，后面是个比例的话，那 account for 就是占有什么什么比例的意思。所以这里就是说它们那个很长很细的尾巴呢，占有的比例大概是怎么样？是它们的 total size， 它们的总体大小，总体的尺寸的2/3。所以70公分里面呢，有2/3是它们的尾巴。
Okay, next paragraph.While basilisks have many interesting traits, they are best known for being able to walk on water. And that, of course, is part of our title of today's lesson. They have many interesting traits or features. Every animal has special traits or features. And for the basilisk, its ability to walk on water, which we are about to explain.While
呢是指一方面，虽然呢它们有很多有趣的 traits， 就是一些特性，每一种动物都有它的特性 traits 就是 features。然后呢，虽然它们有很多特性，但是 they are best known for 就它们最知名的是 being able to 它们有这个能力可以 walk on water 在水上行走。
So the next sentence says, actually, it's more like running because they're moving much more quickly than walking implies.But having read the next sentence, I think that it's much more like skating. If you've ever done rollerblading or ice skating, the description of how these lizards move is a lot more like skating than running, to me anyways.
事实上呢，他 actually 就是把他话讲得更精准一点。他说 it's more like 什么，就是比较像是。所以与其说他是走路呢，在水上行走呢，不如说他在水上是跑。那这个 Angela 老师说，根据以上的描述呢，其实他更像是 skating， 跟那溜冰一样 skating skating。
Nevertheless, basilisks have no problems at all moving across the surface of a lake or stream on their rear legs, a feat that is nearly impossible for most animals. Despite this, nevertheless, it's more like running than walking. Despite that, basilisks have no problem at all moving across the surface. They're on top of a lake or stream on their rear legs. So it's the rear legs that are doing the running here, and the front legs are up in the air in front of them. A feat, that means something very difficult to do, is a feat that is nearly impossible for most animals. On TV, I've seen nature programs, and they featured the basilisks, and they run so fast your eyes can barely follow them. And it's true, on their rear legs, they were just running along like in a cartoon.
It's like the Roadrunner.
Yeah. 好，所以我们看到这个地方，他讲 nevertheless， 就是尽管他们比较像是在跑，但是呢，他们 have no problems doing something。大家注意这个结构。那 at all 就是根本完全没有问题，所以要做这些事情完全没有问题。have no problems at all doing something， 后面要加 VING， 变成 VING。所以我们可以这里看到呢，他说这种蜥蜴呢，他们完全没有问题。做什么事情呢 ？Moving 有一个 ing 在那边。那 move across 就是横越、移动、横越什么东西呢？横越 the surface of a lake or stream， 一个湖的湖面或者是一个溪流的表面。他们要横越这个湖或者溪流的表面呢，他们是完全没有问题的。那他们怎么样过去呢？是 on their rear legs。rear 就是后面的，所以他们是以他们后脚越过水面这样的一个东西。接下来我们一个同位语，一个告诉你说他能够用后脚渡水，这是一个壮举，一个很不容易完成的事，那个叫做一个 feat， 就是很不容易完成的一个壮举，这很难。那这样的一个事情呢，就是横越水面呢 that is nearly impossible， 几乎是不可能的。For most animals， 对大多数的动物来讲，你要能够跑过水面或走过水面，几乎是不可能的。
Therefore, it's not surprising. It's not surprising that they are also known as Jesus lizards. If something is not surprising that they are something, it means that, of course, it's obvious why they are something. So they are known as Jesus lizards. It's not surprising because it recalls or reminds us of the biblical story, the story from the Bible of Jesus walking on water. And anyone who was raised Catholic or Christian or Orthodox Christian is going to be like, yeah, it's a Jesus lizard.
好，所以呢，因此，因为他们能够横越水面，所以呢 it's not surprising that， 就底下这件事情是毫不令人意外的。什么事情呢？就是 that 子句要告诉我们的事情，也就是说 they are also known as， 他们又被称为 Jesus lizards， 就是耶稣蜥蜴。那 which 就是指他们称为这样的一个名字，耶稣蜥蜴呢，它是可以怎么样 recalls 在这里呢，它是及物动词，它是 cause someone to remember or think of， 让人想起。所以这个名字会让人想起什么？想起 the biblical story， 就是圣经的一个故事。什么故事呢？ Of Jesus walking on water， 这个耶稣在水面上行走的这个圣经故事。有这个名字就让大家想到这个圣经故事。
Okay, let's look at our third paragraph. The ability of basilisks to run across water stems from their unique hind feet and the shape of their bodies. So in this paragraph, we can expect that we're going to find out how is it that basilisks can walk or run on the surface of water. Well, it's those unique hind feet. The opposite of hind is fore, F-O-R-E, and that means in front of. Hind means in back or in back of. The basilisks running across the water, they can do it because the shape of their bodies is such that they are sort of built in order that they can do this.
The ability of 这种蜥蜴它的能力，做什么的能力呢？ To run across water， 跑过水面的能力。这样的一个能力是 stems from， 是来自于 originate in 或者是 because by， 叫 stems from， 它来自于它的能力来自于他们的 unique， 他们独特的 hind feet， 他们的后脚。
I just want to mention that hind is the same thing as behind. It's the same particle.
Yeah, 因为 behind, be 再加一个 hind, 这 behind 就是在什么什么之后。好，所以他们的独特的后脚，还有他们怎么样 the shape of their bodies, 还有他们身体的形状，使得他们可以在水上横越水面。
So the next sentence says, and this is why I was talking about their action is more like skating than running. So as the lizard strides forward, stride is like moving, like taking a step forward. But stride is not just a step. A step implies like a little movement and it's like independent. But a stride feels like part of a greater, longer movement of running. And it's more graceful and forward moving. So a stride is like bigger than a step. So as the lizard strides forward, little bubbles of air are formed when the basilisk's feet contact the surface of the water. So every time this lizard takes this giant step forward, it creates little bubbles under its feet. And that's part of why they don't sink.
You know, if you hit water in the bathtub or in the swimming pool or so on, you can see bubbles
forming
after you smash the water.
Because you've literally carried the air down into the water with the palm of your hand. So it's something about the shape of their feet that must carry these bubbles down.
Yeah. 所以随着这个蜥蜴 strides forward, stride 就是大步快走，阔步行进，脚步很大的往前。这个时候呢，就会说 little bubbles of air， 就是有小气泡 are formed 会形成。当这个蜥蜴它的脚接触到 contact， 就是接触到 the surface of the water， 碰到水面。那其实我们用手去拍水也是一样，会有小泡泡，因为我们把空气压到水里面去了。
This, the striding and the bubbles forming underneath the basilisk's feet, this generates enough force to push the lizard's entire body forward.So although it's using only its hind legs, that's a lot of force, a lot of power to help push forward the lizard on top of the water and slightly to the opposite side. So if his rear leg hits the water, he will move forward, but also a little bit to the left. If it was his right hind foot, then he'll move just a bit to the left.
好，所以我们可以看到说 this 就是指他们这种快步行走，然后形成小泡泡等等的。这个事情呢，会 generate 会产生 enough force 足够的力量来干嘛呢？来 push 就是把它往前推，把这个蜥蜴的整个身体，它的 entire body push forward 往前推，然后呢 slightly 稍微的 to the opposite side 是稍微往另外一边，往相反的一边，往那边推过去。
And so subsequently, what happens next? The next thing is.The webbed feet begin to stroke the water's surface. And stroke is basically lightly running your hand over something. So you can stroke a cat, which means you just feel the very surface of their fur. And in this case, they're stroking the water surface. So they're just moving across the water's surface. And that creates a gliding effect. Gliding is, you can use it for air, like when birds fly without moving their wings. They're just sort of carried along on the air current.Or you can glide on top of water, or you can glide through water like a diver coming up afterwards. So all of these things, this motion of them stroking across the surface creates this gliding effect on the top of the water. And that's basically the same motion that skaters use when they're skating.
Subsequently 就是于是接着，那 webbed 就是有蹼的 feet 脚，也就是说它的脚是蹼状的脚，就开始会 stroke 就是轻轻的划过the water's surface 水的表面，那 which 这样的一个动作就会 creates 就会创造出形成一个 a gliding effect 就是一个滑行的效果 gliding 就是滑行 on the top of the water 在水面上面就会产生一种滑行的效果。
Okay, let's look at our next and last paragraph. In addition to their ability to run on water, basilisks possess several other interesting features.Or we could use the word traits that we used earlier.
那除了他们在水上奔跑的能力 their ability to run on water 除了这个之外呢，这个 basilisks 他们也拥有 several 其他的几个 interesting 有趣的 features 或者是 traits 有一些其他有趣的一些特性。
They can stay underwater for nearly 10 minutes. They can hold their breath for way longer than a human being.I mean, most human beings. Yeah. The fact that they can stay underwater for 10 minutes showcases their excellent swimming abilities. Like anyone who can be underwater for 10 minutes can swim really well. So showcases means kind of proves in this case, or showing off.
这个 showcase 其实就我们前面看到那两个字 display, exhibit 就是显示，所以这句话就是他们可以 stay underwater， 他们可以待在水下，差不多可以到10分钟 for nearly 10 minutes， 10分钟很可怕，能够在水里面10分钟。那这个显示他们的 excellent 极佳的非常棒的 swimming abilities， 他们的极佳的游泳能力。
Also, basilisks can rapidly change the color of their skin, allowing them to adapt and blend into their surroundings as a form of camouflage.
Basically, they're the coolest lizard ever. Just they are.
And there are actually quite a few lizards that can do this. The little house gecko, for example. So they can adapt and blend into their surroundings. This is an ability that many animals have. Not only lizards, our friend the octopus in the ocean is a master of camouflage.
Yes, they are. They can even change the texture of their skin.
Yeah. 所以我们刚刚讲到，其实很多蜥蜴都可以变色，包括家里面的壁虎，它也会变色的。当然，最会变色的应该是这个章鱼最会变色。所以我们这里讲到说，这种蜥蜴呢，它们可以 rapidly change， 迅速的改变 the color of their skin， 它们皮肤的颜色。那这个可以使得它们得以如何呢？得以 allowing them to adapt， 就是适应，通常适应一个环境。而且呢，可以 blend into， 可以融入或者混入 their surroundings， 他们就可以跟他们的周围 surroundings 周围的情况呢，就可以混为一体，让你看不出来。所以这是一种怎么样 ？as a form of camouflage，camouflage 就是伪装，所以这是一种伪装的形式。
So all of these amazing traits or characteristics make basilisk lizards unique and fascinating creatures. Yes and yes. Fascinating means you can't look away. You're just like, this is so cool. Tell me more.
Yeah, fascinating 就是很迷人的，会吸引到你的。所以我们上面讲的这些 amazing 让你觉得很惊人的这些特性，使得耶稣蜥蜴是很独特unique， 而且呢是非常 fascinating 非常迷人的 creatures 生物。
Okay, we have some questions here for you. Number one of which is, where would you most likely find this passage? Where would you find this piece of article?
你最有可能在哪里找到这篇文章呢？
The answer is D, in a biology textbook, because we're talking about animals and their characteristics.
好，答案是 D， 在生物学的教科书当中会找到这样的文章。
Number 2, which of the following statements about basilisks is not true?
以下哪一项关于双脊冠蜥的叙述是不正确的？
A is obviously the right answer because it isn't true at all. They are short-tailed reptiles? No, they have very long tails that can survive in icy Arctic regions. No, they live near the equator.
好，所以这个 A 选项是不正确的，因为 A 选项说它们是可以在冰冷北极地区生存的短尾爬虫类，不对它们是生长在热带地区，不是冰冷北极地区，而且它们是长尾巴而不是短尾巴。
And number 3, where would the following sentence be best suited in the passage? So if we were going to add this sentence in, where should we add it to? Which paragraph? So here's the sentence. Thin flaps of skin along the lizard's long toes trap the air as its feet slap against the water. Oh, so this is the structure for trapping, getting those air bubbles in that we talked about. Haha. And they took it out just so you could have this question.
好，题目问我们说，以下句子最适合放在文章里面的什么地方？那这个句子讲的是，当蜥蜴的脚拍打水面的时候，蜥蜴的长脚趾边缘薄薄的皮状物会将空气困住。
And the answer is C, paragraph 3, when we were discussing the mechanism by which this lizard does not sink when it's walking on the water.
答案是 C， 因为说这句话他说的是双脊冠蜥如何能够在水面上奔跑，那介绍它的脚部的结构的特点，那这跟我们文章里面第3段的内容相关，所以放入第3段最适合。
And number 4, which of the following is the most helpful part for basilisks to run on water?
那以下哪一个部分对于双脊冠蜥在水上奔跑最有帮助呢？
Well, if you look carefully, you'll find that C draws a line to its leg, one of its back legs, and that's what powers the basilisk to run on top of water.
所以呢，答案应该是 C， 因为根据第3段，双脊冠蜥它能够在水面上快速奔跑的能力的源，它是来自于哪里呢？来自于它的独特的后脚跟身形，所以我们选 C。
Well, that's it for today's lesson. Till then,
bye-bye.